Hey, sixth grade. This is Mr. Schaefer. I'm here on late Friday night after my kids went to bed. I thought I'd film this and get it ready for you for Monday morning. I would tell you too that I was in a really good take of the first video and it crashed like halfway through. So if this one's not very good, the other one was legit. Okay, so let's jump right into pod because I know you have another video and you need to watch either before or after this. So I want to let you know that we are in prime time for the second trimester, meaning if you're going to do something about your grades, let's do it now because there's only about 3 weeks left. Okay. And then we end this try. So if you're unhappy with where your grades are, don't give up. There's still time, but you need to move now. All right. And I think something that's good for you to hear, maybe from the first time for me, is grades always get more meaningful the older you are. Hey, as you move through middle school and high school. So if you someone who blows off an F, they have increasing consequences the older you get. So hopefully you're somebody who's pushing for, getting to those higher levels. Yesterday, at the end of the day on Thursday, I talked about something new the student council and I are trying to liven this up in the winter. Hey, we want to have some music on in the school during passing periods. Yeah. And if you're walking and you hear a song you like, you're always welcome to groove and dance a little bit. And you guys are picking the songs. Each Tuesday, a grade level, and starting out this Tuesday is y'all. Tomorrow, you get to choose what songs we're listening to during passing period. You need to tell your student council members what you want. It has to be a clean song, no bad lyrics or swear words, and they're going to get that to me hopefully by Monday night or so, and I will get it ready and we'll listen to some tunes, and we'll do that for the rest of the year. Should be fun. The other video that you either watch first or after this one, hopefully first, I'll just talk about what they talked about. But we have another group in our school this year. Student Council is one, and Sources of Strength, peer leader group are some folks that are helping us do some campaigns to make us all understand that we have connections and support here at WTMS. And they're going to do some campaigns this year, is what they call them. And the first one is pretty cool, a trusted adult campaign. Recognizing and identifying who in the building, if you needed to talk to something about something and you needed to be honest with them, who would you go to? And I don't know if you're supposed to identify just one or multiple ones, but we're putting it on a kind of cool display out there and building a little beaver dam of trust that you get to add a log to. So I think you're doing that today if I leave you enough time. This is kind of a long pod. I apologize. So that should be fun. What's also fun is celebrating these awesome people who did well on Student of the Week. Eric Mendez for ELA, George Garcia for Math, Science Yoreli Carrillo, Social Studies Daisy Palacios, Reading Frankie Reyes, and Band Naomi Lovelace. Awesome job. Okay, I'm still getting to know some of the sixth graders, but I'm starting to learn that we've got a pretty good class in sixth grade, and we look forward to getting to know you. I get to know you over 3 years, and hopefully for pod in person soon. So good job, students of the week. Proud of you guys. Last week we introduced Habit 6. You guys are moving so fast through the habits. This year's going fast. So as we talk about dealing with other people, we started with our mindset, thinking win-win. We can all kind of get part of our way. And then we listen first and talk second in habit 5. Habit 6 is putting it all together and collaborating and synergizing, which is all about 1 + 1 = 3. Huh? 1 + 1 = 3 means that all the members of the group are putting their talents together and coming up with a wonderful finished product. And if you've had been in a band, or maybe played on a great soccer team or just been on a good group, you know what I'm talking about, where you're like, it's not about fighting for your way. You all contribute, and it's kind of about being more than the sum of its parts. You're part of something that's bigger than you, and it's a pretty amazing feeling. We talked about last week that part of the foundation for synergy is how you view people around you, especially those that may be different from you in some way, okay? Race, religion, sexual orientation, just hair color, whatever, gender. Some people get caught up on those differences, and they view diversity in one of these 3 ways. They could shun those different than them and say, I don't want to be around those people. Okay, they are different than me. I'm scared of them. I don't want to be around them. That leads to some pretty it could be some prejudicial things. It's probably not a word, but it's late Friday night. But that could lead to hate and discrimination, and you don't want to do that, okay? And that might be some really bad paradigms that people put in your head. If so, get rid of them. You might be a tolerator. You're saying, I don't hate anybody. I'm not afraid of them. I just don't want to be around them. and you're going to miss out on some opportunities. Okay. It's good to have diversity around you. It's wonderful because everyone has their own unique perspectives. So you meet somebody from a different country or has some different beliefs than you. Doesn't mean that you have to follow them, but it's good to honor what they have to say, and they're all part of the discussion. Okay. That's really the foundation for synergy. Last year, when we first introduced the habits, we've had several synergy lessons, and it's really about working with others in different parts of your life. So for the last few years around Valentine's, we have a pod lesson about dating and synergizing with people that you may want to be interested in a romantic way. Like they like you and she likes them, and oh my gosh, does he like me? And we send a note. Those sort of things. Okay, so I'm putting preparing under emphasis here because you guys are 11 or 12. This stuff's sort of in your future, but it's never too early to prepare. And this is all about healthy romantic relationships for you, when you're young, but certainly setting the foundation for healthy adult relationships as well. Teachers, if we're not running super behind, maybe we'll skip that. But if you have time, you can pause me, and they could share with a partner their own best or worst or funniest dating. And I put dating because I don't know how much real dating you guys should do or have done so far, but their best experience or worst experience. So if you have time, you think you can pause me right now. If not, we better keep cruising. So here, you could pause right now. Pause. Okay, unpause. So maybe a lot of you guys say I don't have any experience. That's probably good. So the pod today is built around a cool author that I read a few years ago, and he toured the country and talked to teens, people a little older than you, about dating. And he didn't give all these answers, but he said there's kind of these certain questions that are asked over and over again. And his answers influenced mine, but they're basically, this is Mr. Schaefer's school of thought. And I'm not the expert. There's much better experts than me, but I have had a relationship that's lasted almost 14 years, so I do know a little bit more than you. So let's talk about getting started. You get one of these notes. Do you want to give one? Do you like me? Yes, no. Oh my gosh, give me the note back after homeroom. I wish I was in person because usually this is a giggly kind of fun for me, maybe slightly uncomfortable. But how old should you be when you start dating? Depends on what you need by date. Some people say wait till high school. My daughter is going to wait until she's 27. And your parents should always be part of this conversation. Some people like to wait until they can drive, like 16. That makes more sense. You can actually go places, but just make sure that your parents are part of this. And it depends on what you mean by date. Are you guys just hanging out at lunch? That's probably pretty harmless. If you want to ask somebody out, how do you do that? Just be cool, man. Don't overthink it. And maybe make sure you do it face to face, because a text message or even a letter, that's only 17% of actual conversation. You missed out on tone, facial expressions, all those things. Okay, so this is kind of a theme of this pod. Face to face communication is good. Texting is fun and Snapchat and all that, but shouldn't be everything. Should you say yes if you get asked out? Depends, okay? Do you feel comfortable around that person? You feel safe with them? How well do you know them, first of all? Are they interesting to you? And if the nature of the date, hey, let's walk over to the ranch real fast, and your friend can come. If you feel comfortable, great. If it's any kind of stuff that you're like, no rush, okay? You can say no for sure. Hopefully say no the right way. Should you swipe left or right? I don't know if you guys know about Tinder. It's this app for people. There's at least one of your teachers that might know something about Tinder, but I won't say anything about them for sure because they may get mad at me. So if you get asked out, who should you be looking for? Should you only date hot people? I don't know if that's how kids spell hot. It's not all about appearance. If you're interested in the person, it should be them, the person, the whole person, their personality, the way they treat you and others. And you should have some things in common, values, okay? Don't get caught up on the appearance thing. What if they only need to change one thing? Sometimes, and this has been the basis of some bad relationships. If you say, I like this person, but don't worry about the but, just stay away from him, okay? But he swears all the time, or he's really mean to my friends. Why would you be, like I said, you should be interested in the whole package because you're young and you've got all sorts of time to take it easy and be choosy. So don't worry about fixer-uppers. If there's aspects of them you're not comfortable with, don't do it. What if your friends don't like that person or they're not cool, whatever cool means anymore? I'm not going to show you this video. This is where I cut off last time, so hopefully it doesn't mess up anything. But this handsome gentleman here. See if I can. Oh, there he is. Is Uncle Rico from a movie called Napoleon Dynamite, who's like thinking about when he was cool in middle school. He's not cool as a grown up. People that I thought was cool, or they thought they were cool in middle school, not all of them went to do great things. So don't worry about that. Okay. Next part in terms of making choices is about, oh, here's some things. How many people should you date? Like, should I date lots of people? Depends on what you mean again. Okay. If it's serious, no, and you're too young for that anyways. But if it's just hanging out in groups and there's people around, that's not the worst thing if it's casual and fun. But you should never be like, oh, I can date so many people. And how and when, and you move in and out of relationships, like, hey, I dump this person second period and dating them by third. That's not cool. Sometimes people's reputations are like not fair, but sometimes they are. Okay. And always be honest. Like, hey, we hung out a few times. Want to be your friend. That's fine. And then move on. Age difference. Should you date people your own age? Yeah, probably. At least pretty close, because if there's a big age difference like Steve Martin and whoever this young lady is, it's just really hard. And especially when you start getting older folks that are, because you're still pretty young. So I'd be very careful going within any more than a year, and probably not even 2. Should you date a friend? Sure, that's a good basis to hang out, but sometimes that makes the friendship a little more complicated. And then is having a boyfriend or girlfriend overrated? Yes, it is. It's very overrated. I don't have actual pictures of my high school girlfriend anywhere, because I figured, why have those in my house? Because my wife may not like having those. But I do have this. That's like from a yearbook or something. And I had, these aren't me. Maybe that one is. But I had one girlfriend for like 3 years of my high school career, and we really didn't have that much in common. It was just kind of something that we hung out because it just got started. We both could have done better, had somebody better for us. So my senior year, we weren't together, and that was by far the most fun year of my high school career. I got to be in talent shows, have more time with my friends to be goofy and have fun. And I thought, man, I kind of wasted some of high school on this relationship. That was just kind of silly. So if you think, you should never think that as sixth graders, but even in the high school, even in the college, oh my gosh, I have to do this. You don't have to do anything. Take it slow. All right. What about the big R word? Oh, relationships. Okay, let's talk about those. Cool. How do you know if you're in one? There's not like 4 people that have to communicate for you, or, oh my gosh, so-and-so said this and I have to tell you. If there's messengers and all these other friends involved, it's not a real relationship, guys. You have to know each other well. It should last a while, should be a trusting thing, and you're probably not ready for one anyways, not quite yet. When is a relationship too serious? Anytime somebody else feels uncomfortable, and anytime that it like takes over the rest of your life because you're young and you have so much going on. Okay. And then what if you get dumped? It sucks. It may happen, but you are still you. I always tell the story of a girl that I coached in basketball in Oregon who was having a terrible couple days of practice. And I said, what is going on? Excuse me, a lot of talking fast. And she said she had got dumped. And I was in a small school. I was like, I didn't even know you're dating anybody. Who? She told me, when did that start? And she said, oh, I don't know. I just don't know what to do without him. And I said, well, how long have you been dating? She said, 2 weeks. So when she said, I don't know what to do without him, I said, well, flash back to 15 days ago and just do that, right? But to her, it was a big deal. But just know that it will hurt for a while, but just move on. You're awesome and you're young, and you'll have other relationships. How can you tell if I'm in good or a bad relationship? There's a lot of stuff here that I'll go through relatively fast, and maybe I'll cover up the not so good stuff. But are you kind and respectful to each other? If there's any kind of like meanness, get out of there. Is there open communication, or you guys barely talk? When somebody messes up, do you give a real apologies, or is it just, again, more meanness? Do you get to be you? Some people start dating someone and like, oh, I have to like everything they like or she likes. You still need to be you. Don't be codependent. You can have some disagreements, but if you like, hey, this kid, vapes or something, and you're way against that, I wouldn't be in a relationship with that person. If there's ever any kind of fear or violence or intimidation, I hope that you guys never get in relationships like that, because it can be hard to get out of. But if someone makes you afraid, that's an instant ending, no matter what they do. Is there lies or secrecy? Is there trust? And if somebody wants to hold hands and you're not so sure about that, and they're like, come on, Done. Okay. No pressure on any of that stuff. We don't mess around with that stuff. Boys, I get to talk to you about in sixth grade maturation, which you will hate, I will like, and we'll talk about how you treat young ladies. And if you don't, I'm coming for you. You better treat them nice. What about the S word? Oh, this is the super fun part. If I was there, yes, I am talking about. Oh yeah, we're gonna have awkward. I'm talking a little bit briefly about physical intimacy and eventually married sex. So how much physical intimacy is too much? If you, again, don't want to hold that person's hand, don't do it. If it ever makes you uncomfortable or they pressure you, get out of there. Tell them I'm out. What is the other person really wants to do? What if, oh, excuse me, typo. Doesn't matter how much, doesn't matter. It's you. And if they communicate aggressively, you need to tell them what your boundaries are very clearly and make them listen and get help if you need to. And then, well, everyone else is doing it, having the sex. No, only 3.7 of young people have sex before the age of 14. And you're not even really that close to 14. So that's a false myth. That's just not true. Okay, very few people are doing that. So no pressure from the outside either, guys. Are you ready for sex? Well, I would tell you not for a long time, because there is a lot of consequences, a lot, including a life-changing pregnancy that could happen for a young person. And I know this is stuff that's probably beyond you as 11-year-olds, but again, we're getting you ready. So are you ready to be a parent? I don't think so, okay? I became a parent when I was just under 30, which is a little older than some people, and it was super hard even then, okay? You have some pretty serious diseases that could be contracted, and this is a quote from one of my favorite plays, The Crucible. That's actually about the Salem witch trials. But there's a part where two people they were intimate together, and the guy was saying like, well, I didn't say I was going to marry her or anything. They weren't married. And someone's trying to explain to him, like, it doesn't matter if you said it. There's just emotional consequences to those things when you're not ready for it. It's a part of a very adult behavior that also is about being in a trusted relationship. And you're just not emotionally ready for it, guys, and probably won't be for a long time. And so I think that we should remember, no pressure, take your time, and even at the other stages, okay, sex is probably a long ways off for you guys, but even if you're not so sure about hand holding and a little smooch on the cheek, then it's never about pressure, and you should take those things slow. So final reminders, hopefully that wasn't too uncomfortable for you. I did miss seeing you guys with your embarrassed faces and giggling a little bit, but this video hopefully wasn't too bad. Sean Covey, author of the book we've been studying, says, have as many boyfriends or girlfriends over your teen years as you want. Have fun, keep it casual, but never make them the center of your life, okay? Because most end very quickly, like that 2-week relationship I told you about. So yeah, that's fine. Keep it casual because they will end. And some people are like, yeah, I know so-and-so who dated somebody through high school. Yeah, it happens, but it's really, really rare. And the people that I dated off and on when I was young, they're not in my life at all. And sometimes I don't even know what I was thinking. So my final thoughts, just take your time. Okay. Don't let anybody pressure you. You do your own thing. It should be about fun. The moment it becomes about pressure or feeling uncomfortable or you're not sure about it, it's never okay. And always, 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 even to when you're older, keep your parents in the loop. Okay. Think I can't talk to them about this stuff. But if you're hiding stuff from them or people that you're talking to or dating, I would ask yourself why. If you're hiding it, that must mean you're uncomfortable, and it must not be a good choice. All right. So thanks for listening. Hopefully that wasn't too embarrassing for you, and maybe there was some giggles out there as you watch the video. But remember, if you have time today, let's see how long this thing is. Write down your trusted adult on that. Oh, you might have time. Okay. And then I think your teacher is going to make sure it gets up on the Beaver Dam of trusted adults. That should be fun. Look forward to the tunes on Tuesday, and take it slow with the dating. Take it from a dad. Slow down. Okay. All right, guys. See ya.